Shalom brothers, it's for Karma Kabashan GMS London. Okay, I just want to start by saying all praise to Jehovah Hashem Yahweh Shai. Double honours unto the elders of GMS, and honours out there to the brothers on the highways and byways teaching the truth and sincerity, man. Okay, keep up the work. Okay, apologies for absence, man. I've had a couple of tech difficulties, man. Hopefully this one can come out and get produced and uploaded and that. So, without further ado, man, this lesson is going to go into, I'm basically going to title it, you're an Israelite, but now what? Because, I saw a couple of old family members I haven't seen in a long time, man, that, was just, discussing certain things, he recognized that he was an Israelite, but he didn't have no real knowledge, man. He recognized that the Most High is, the Most High of Israel is the Most High of everything. Recognized that, but he didn't know his name. So, what good is that? What good is it to know that you're an Israelite, but you don't know the truth? The whole truth. That's just one part of one part of the truth, man, one small part to know who you are. Okay, that's the that's the starting point. Everyone starts off by finding out who they are, man. But then once you know you're an Israelite, man, you got an obligation, man. Okay, you're meant to be trying to find out the truth, man. Find out the whole truth about the scriptures. Okay, there's no point reading the scriptures, but you're not receiving understanding, or you're not studying, like not going deep into it. So this is a lesson, going into this. Okay, things that you should be doing. Once you find out certain things, man, you should be going deeper after that, man. You need to study this truth while it can be learned, man. Time's running out. You don't have time to to be flapping about and to be ignorant of the duties that you're supposed to be doing and just the things you should be doing as an Israelite, man. Because your life changes once you're an Israelite. Your life should change, man. Okay, you're not carrying on the same life that you had before. That life is dead. Okay, we've been born again into this truth, and now it's time to change yourself and do what pleases the Most High. Because he was telling you, basically that you must be humble. I kept calling him Father, right? Which he is, but that's not his name. Which I kept trying to explain to him. Keep saying to him, but he said that it doesn't matter. You can just call him Father. But I said the Most High gave us his name for us to call upon him, man. Why did he give Moses his name? To give to Israel, okay, so that we can call upon him. But now it's not so simple, because now we've disconnected ourselves from the Most High, and our Savior Yahweh Shai, which is his Son, is the name we have to call upon. For the Most High to hear us, man. We have to call through Yahweh Shai to have our prayers heard, man. So you need to know both their names, okay? You need to be following the Most High's law, coming back to his law. Okay, once you know you're Islam, man, you're meant to be returning to the Most High and doing the things that the Most High commanded you to do, man. And so there's a lot of things that you need to be doing and need to be changing about yourself to do that. Because otherwise you're not really going to receive salvation, man. Because everyone's going to end up in the kingdom of Israel, but this up and coming terrible time that's coming to pass, man. 2/3 of Israel are going to be destroyed, man, and only the elect are going to be saved. Okay, because they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing. Okay, but enough talking. Let's get into the scriptures now. Okay, let's start off in Hosea chapter 3 verse 4. For the children of Israel shall abide many days without a king and without a prince, and without a sacrifice, and without an image, and without an ephod, and without a teraphim. Afterwards shall the children of Israel return and seek the Lord their God and David their king, and shall fear the Lord and his goodness in the latter days. Okay, so this is talking about now. Okay, because we've been disconnected from our heritage, and that we've not been doing the things that are accustomed to us. Okay, because we've lost our heritage. Okay, so we haven't been making sacrifices and so on and so forth. Okay, but he said Israel shall seek their God. Okay, then now this has been happening for a while now. People looking for the Most High, men of the Lord, being given His name. Okay, and the truth, knowledge, understanding they've been given from the Most High. Okay, and they're teaching others now. Okay, that's why brothers are popping up all across the world, man. With this truth. Okay, but a lot of you Israelites only know certain things, man, and you've not gone that bit further to find out more. Okay, which is a requirement of you. Okay. It says in Hosea chapter 4 verse 6, my people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge, because thou hast rejected knowledge. I was trying to tell that family member of mine, certain things and that, but obviously you see it when sinking into his forehead, man. Okay, because he thinks he knows what he's supposed to be doing, but like I was picking questions to him, he's telling me he knows the Most High. We're asking what his name was, and he doesn't know his name. So what do you know then, really? What do you really know? And the answer is nothing. You're an Israelite, but that's about it. Okay, you slightly confused that, exactly, what part of Israel you're from in terms of the tribes and whatever, but, there's things you need to know as an Israelite, okay? And, you think you're doing the right thing and whatever, but really you don't know what the right thing is. Okay, because you don't know the will of the Most High. Okay, you lack the knowledge. Okay. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me, seeing that thou hast forgotten the law of thy God, I will also forget thy children. Okay, so like I said, it's not enough just to know you're an Israelite, man. There's you need to know the name, you need to know the laws. Okay. You need to know the name of his son. Okay. And when your faith in that's built up, and you're strong in the spirit, you go out and teach. Okay. You go out and teach. To find the elect, man. To teach the elect. Okay, that haven't woken up yet. Okay, so there are things that come in stages, But you need to, can't reject knowledge, man, because you're never gonna get that. Okay. Zechariah chapter 13 verse 8. And it shall come to pass that in all the land, saith the Lord, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die, but the third shall be left therein. Okay, it's like the same. You might know you're an Israelite, but that don't mean you're part of the elect. Because 2/3 of Israel is going to die in this upcoming destruction, man. They're not going to be saved. Okay, because you don't know anything. Okay, or you're just straight wicked. Okay. this salvation is all about the elect, man. Those, you know, the men of the Lord, the men that do the will of the Most High. Okay, and that's, you know, that's what the brothers are out there on the highways and byways trying to do, teach you. Okay, to guide you. But, you know, 2/3 won't receive it. They won't hear that. Okay, they'll reject that knowledge. Okay, so if you're rejecting that knowledge, man, you're in that 2/3, man. It's gonna cut off and die through fire. Okay, you know, you can't be saved just because you're an Israelite. You know. It says, and I will bring the third part through the fire. It's talking about the elect. Okay. And will refine them as silver is refined, and will try them as gold is tried, and they shall call on my name. So here is, they shall call on my name. You know, the men of the Lord know his name. Okay, his name is very important. Okay, so that's one thing you need to know as an Israelite. You need to know the name of the Most High. Okay, and you can find it here in this word here. Okay, if you bother to go into the Hebrew, you know, and break it down. Okay, his name appears there. Okay, so it's not as if you can't find his name. Okay, as long as you're given that, you know, the Lord is dealing with you in the spirit, you'll receive his name, man. Okay. So they should call on my name. So he can't do that because he doesn't know the name. So he can't call on the name of the Most High because he doesn't know it. Okay. He said it was disrespectful to call him by his name, that we should call him Father. But the Most High didn't ask us to call him Father. He asked him to call on his name. Okay. Yes, he is our Father, but he asked us to call on his name. Okay. I will hear them. And I will say, it is my people, and they shall say, the Lord is my God. Okay, Yahweh is my God, my power. Okay, that's what the word God means. God is not a name, Father is not a name, they're all titles. Okay, the Most High has a name, and his name is Yahweh, and his son's name is Yahweh Shai. Okay. This is Mark chapter 13 verse 27. It says, and then shall he send his angels, and shall gather together his elect from the four winds of the utmost part of the earth to the utmost part of heaven. Okay, he's showing you this is about the elect. The Lord's going to save the elect at the destruction, man. Okay. Jeremiah chapter 4 verse 22. It says here, for my people is foolish. And the majority of Israel is foolish, man. Okay, they have not known me. They are sottish children, and they have none understanding. Okay, they have not known me. He didn't know the name. Then you don't know the Most High. Then, if you don't know what the Most High's will is, then you don't know the Most High. You don't know him. Okay, they are sottish children. They have none understanding. Okay, you don't really understand what it is to be good. Okay, which is, it's going to say here, they are wise to do evil, but to do good they have no knowledge. Okay, and that's why the men of the Lord are out here to give you knowledge, man. Okay, the men of the Lord are here to teach you and give you knowledge, man. But the majority of you reject knowledge. So how can you be saved? Colossians chapter 1 verse 9. It says here, for this cause we also, since the day we heard it, do not cease to pray for you, and to desire that ye might be filled with